Good morning, everyone. Let's do some prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhur Bhavaswa, Tatsavitravarenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yo Nah Prachodayat, Astoma Sadgamya, Tamsoma Jyotirgamya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamya. Om Sahna Vavtu, Sahna Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karvavahe, Tejasvi Navadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Today's topic was supposed to be Sanskars, the sacraments. But before we talk about Sanskars, it's good to know the 4 stages of life too. Those are called the Ashrams, 4 Ashrams. Because in order to fulfill our duties, our obligations, our rishis, they have designed a plan for us, which is called 4 stages of life, 4 ashrams of life. Because these ashrams, they constitute a plan of action for an individual intending to lead him or her to spiritual perfection by living a well-disciplined life on earth and reaching the goal of life afterwards. In exceptional cases, some of these stages may be skipped, but majority of the people got to go through these 4 stages in life. And the actual success depends upon the individual and his or her commitment to the final goal, which is liberation. So in this sense, these 4 ashrams are the 4 stops in the journey of life. At each stage, an individual prepares for further journey until the journey ends in moksha for the soul. So the 4 stages of life may be called the 4 steps on this ladder. These 4 stages of life are Brahmacharya ashram, the period of studentship, Grihastha ashram, the householder stage, Vanaprastha ashram, ascetic or the hermit stage, and the 4th one, Sannyasa ashram, life of renunciation. In Brahmacharya ashram, the period of studentship, the 3 main goals of the ashrams are mentioned very clearly in Vedas. Number 1 is acquire knowledge. Number 2, build character. And number 3 is learn to shoulder responsibilities. Because in the adult life, the individual has to shoulder a lot of responsibilities. So this stage begins when a child enters school at an early age and continues until he or she has finished all schooling and is prepared to assume the responsibilities of the future. And the student is expected to acquire two types of knowledge. First, the student must acquire knowledge in the arts or the sciences and learn necessary skills for earning a decent living. And the second, the individual must acquire religious and spiritual knowledge, the moral and the ethical principles of dharma. He or she must learn to discipline the body and mind, practice self-restraint, non-violence, truthfulness. Because a person's competence in successfully assuming the duties and responsibilities of the householder stage depends upon the intensity and the depth of knowledge acquired during this first stage, Brahmacharya ashram. This is the foundation for the rest of the life. Just like in any building, foundation is extremely important. So the second stage in life, Grihastha ashram, that is the beginning point for the stage, is a person's marriage, which is regarded as a sacrament, a sanskar. It's not a contract according to the Hindu philosophy. It's a sacrament. This ashram forms the foundation for the support of the next two ashrams also. The importance of the Grihastha ashram is often reflected in the analogy that just like all the rivers flow into the sea, all ashrams flow into Grihastha. In the Grihastha ashram, an individual pays the three debts. A householder earns wealth and enjoys life and noble things in life in accordance with the formula Dharam, Arth, and Kam. That is a part of the four goals of life. In addition to the individual and social duties which are mentioned in the four goals and three debts, a householder is required to perform Panch Mahayajnas also. And we have talked about these Panch Mahayajnas in other recordings too. Then the third stage in life is the Vanaprastha ashram. After the responsibilities of the Grihastha ashram are complete, that means when the children have reached adulthood, have assumed the responsibilities of the household, a person enters into the Vanaprastha ashram, a hermit stage of life. In modern society, this stage would begin at the time of retirement. In this stage, a person gradually withdraws from the active life and begins devoting more time to the study of scriptures, contemplation, and meditation. And the person makes himself or herself available in order to provide guidance and share experiences with the younger generation, only when requested to do so. Otherwise, a person is supposed to stay busy in his or her own sadhana. Then the fourth ashram is the Sannyasa ashram. A sannyasi is one who has renounced the world. And this ashram is the final stage of life. in which an individual mentally renounces all worldly ties, spends all of his or her time in meditation and contemplation, and ponders over the mysteries of this life. In this stage of life, an individual must forego the concepts of I, my, or mine, and evolve his or her consciousness to seek oneness of all existence. And this ashram starts with the age of 75. In ancient times, a person would part company with the family and become a mendicat. In modern societies, this stage can be regarded as a complete mental renunciation of the world. So, in other words, we don't have to leave our homes, but to mentally detach and total absorption in meditation and contemplation. So, in all these four stages of life, there are some sacraments, sanskars. So, Hindu sanskars are the practices or rites which are ordained in Hindu scriptures to guide an individual towards a proper sense of duty and obligation during the various stages of life. So that's why it's important to know which stage in life we are in and what are we supposed to do. These Hindu sanskars, they have been formulated by ancient sages based upon their own intuitive knowledge, experiences, and beliefs relating to the nature of human life. These sanskars, sacraments, they create a religious atmosphere. The atmosphere which is conducive to the maintenance of virtuous tendencies. They purify the mind and also the intellect by inculcating in our mind the truthfulness, purity, and generosity in our heart. They create an urge for morality and righteousness. We all know that anger destroys nobler thoughts. Greed leads to evil actions. Pride hinders our growth. And arrogance leads to irrational behavior. So these sanskars are designed to destroy anger, greed, pride, and arrogance. That is the purpose. These sanskars, they act as signboards on the path of life. These sanskars, they direct the travelers in their journey and eliminating confusion at the crossroads of life. In Hindu Dharam, the birth of a child is considered a religious activity. In fact, the sanskars begin prior to birth, prior to conception, and end with the cremation of the body following the death. So that means the first sanskar is before the conception, and the last sanskar is after the soul has left. In In various scriptures, there are a number of sanskars prescribed. They vary from 11 to 40. But 16 sanskars are considered the most significant. And those are the sanskars I am going to talk about today. The first sanskar is called Garbhadhan, conception. This sanskar is performed by parents, and there are fervent prayers inviting a soul in order to fulfill the parental obligations to continue the human race. And that is one of the debts. In this sanskar, the scriptural hymns recited by the couple with the help of the priest or the guru. And those prayers are basically agreement between the couple about mutual love, kindness, compassion, cooperation, and also enjoyment of the married life. So that means the couple is promising to each other to create a beautiful atmosphere so that a great soul can enter into their family. Garbhadhan. All the sanskars are performed with the yajna. The presence of Agni is there. The presence of the mantras are there. And there is a dakshina given to the guru or the priest also. So that's how we become less greedy also. We recognize the presence of God also. We are honoring the rishis also who gave those verses to us. The second sanskar is called Punswan. Punswan. That is performed after the first trimester. So third or the fourth month of pregnancy. And this means the fetus protection. So the priest or the guru recites Vedic hymns to invoke divine qualities in the child. And the purpose of this sanskar is to create a spiritual atmosphere at home for the physical growth of the child. Punswan. The third sanskar is called Simanto Nayan. Simanto Nayan sanskar is similar to the modern day baby shower. But in the baby shower, there is a more emphasis on the eating and gifts. But Simanto Nayan is, it is a religious sanskar again, performed during the 7th or the 8th month of pregnancy. And prayers are offered to God for the healthy physical and mental growth of the child. The brain is developing tremendously at that point. Simant. According to Hindu sages, the development of the mental state of a child in the mother's womb depends upon the psychological state of the mother during her pregnancy also. So the purpose of this sanskar is to give a sense of joy, dignity, and self-confidence to the expectant mother. As a part of this sanskar, the expectant mother is advised to dwell on thoughts of nobility, goodness, and divinity. And she is encouraged to eat sattvic food. Through Vedic mantras, the priest invokes the qualities of many deities in the child. Very powerful message is given to the mother to be at that point. Be happy. We are with you. You are not alone. The fourth sanskar at the time of the childbirth, Jat Karam. Whenever I do these sanskars, especially the Simento Nayan, I often tell the couple, please call me. And that is the time when the mother is in the labor. I do this sanskar at the ashram by myself because it is supposed to be done at that time. Baby is entering into this world, sending that energy. So this sanskar is performed at birth. Preparation for its performance occurs prior to birth, actually. So when the mother is in labor, because this ritual welcomes the child into the family. Mantras are recited for a healthy and a long life. This sanskar is performed to create a pleasant atmosphere for both the newborn child and also the mother. Fifth sanskar is Namkaran, naming the child. Name selection is performed according to scriptural procedures, actually, according to the Hindu tradition. The name is selected so that the meaning can inspire the child to follow the path of righteousness. So that's why you all see the deep meanings of your names given by your parents or your guru. The names given to newborn babies are generally suggestive of the divine qualities of the Vedic deities. It has been a common practice among Hindus is to name their child after the names of the sages, saints, holy persons, deities, the names of the incarnations of the God, such as Ram and Krishna also. Those names, we see that in the older generation. Because it is believed that by repeatedly calling such names, it's a reminder of the Lord also. And there are stories in the Purans. Just by calling the name of the child in the last breath, a person attained salvation. The name has power. Sixth sanskar is called Nishkraman, taking the child outdoors. Normally, it is performed, these days the babies are born in the hospital, but even after bringing them home, the first time you need to take the child out, this sanskar can be done. Because the baby is exposed to the outdoors for a little longer time. And it is believed that baby is capable of bearing the effects of nature. There could be germs outside, cold or excessive heat. So you pray to God before you take your baby out. So in this sanskar, parents continue to offer prayers for the good health and the long life of the child. Again, the Vedic deities are invoked to protect the child from evil forces. There are negative forces out there. So we got to protect our children. That is the duty of a parent. Seventh sanskar is called anprashan. An means food, giving the child solid food for the first time. The child is going to eat food for the rest of his life. We want to give the first bite with the name of God. Anprashan. In the Vedic scriptures, it says during the 6th month or 7th month. Not before that. Intestines are not big enough or strong enough before that. And even the doctors say that these days. That is the right time. Our ancient rishis, what a wisdom they had. Without any instruments. So the child is fed solid food. And following this sanskar, child can eat solid food, not having to rely only on mother's milk alone. So there are detailed instructions in Hindu scriptures. Those are Grihastras relating to the type, quality, and quantity of food that the child should be fed. They always say that first make food with the rice, very light, and offer it to God first, into the Agni. After offering to the Agni, then offer it to the child. Then it becomes a prasad. So it's almost like a rice pudding or rice kheer, very liquidy. And pediatricians will say the same thing. Feed the rice flakes first. Mix it with milk. It's light on the stomach. Then the 8th sanskar is called a mundan sanskar, hair cutting. This is performed during the 1st year or the 3rd year. And child's hair is removed by shaving actually. According to the sages, this ensures the healthy growth of new hair on the clean head of the child. And the parents, they take a little promise over there during this sanskar that just like we are removing the old hair, we will remove all the negativities. We take the responsibility of removing the tamsikta, the negative tendencies from the baby's personality. We are all born with some tamsikta also, rajsikta also, satvikta also. Parents are supposed to cultivate the sattvic qualities in us. This popular ceremony is often an occasion for family unions and celebrated with extraordinary festivity. The 9th sanskar is called Karan Ved, that is a ear piercing. This sanskar is performed in the 3rd or the 5th year of life. According to the Hindu sages, ear piercing prevents certain diseases of the intestines or even hernia type diseases. And for girls, the ear or nose piercing is also performed to enable them to wear ornaments later in life. So all these sanskars are supposed to be for the male or female child. Both of them. The 10th sanskar is called Upanayan. That is a sacred thread ceremony. This is done right before the child is sent to school to receive education. And this is marking the entry of the child into the Brahmacharya ashram, actually, the period of studentship, which we just learned, the first stage of life. This is performed around the 5th year of life. So the child is invested with a sacred thread, and sacred thread has 3 strands, which is worn around the neck and waist. And these 3 threads, 3 strands, symbolize the 3 debts that the child repays during his adult life. And at the time of the marriage, as part of the wedding ceremony, there are 3 more threads, or the strands of thread, put on. Symbolically, that means there are 3 more debts. The wedding vows, performing the individual and social duties associated with Grihastha ashram, and performing religious rites and set ceremonies which are enjoined by the scriptures. So 6-stranded thread around the neck of a Hindu is a reminder of the 6 debts that a person has to repay during adulthood. Our life has a lot of duties. These days we talk about only rights, and that's where there are problems. If everybody performed their duties rightfully, there won't be any problem. 11th sanskar is called Ved Arambha, study of the Vedas. So this sanskar is performed at the time of the Upanayana. So Guru teaches the Gayatri mantra to the child. In this mantra, the child prays to God for illuminating his mind and intellect in order to acquire knowledge. Guru also introduces the Vedas to the students so that he can study the scriptures while he or she is still receiving the general education. The 12th sanskar is called Samvartan. It's a graduation. Returning home after completing education. This sanskar is performed at about the age of 25, when the student has completed his studies. In ancient time, this sanskar marked the end of Brahmacharya stage, and the student was expected to return home from his guru's ashram. 13th sanskar is called Vivah, marriage. In Hindu Dharma, marriage is a sacrament, and it's performed after completing one's education. When 2 people are found compatible for marriage, the marriage enables a person to enter the Grihastha ashram, the 2nd stage of the 4 stages of life. 14th sanskar is Vanaprastha, preparation for renunciation. This sanskar is performed around the age of 50 to celebrate the departure from the second stage of life and entrance into the third stage. In this third stage, the person renounces worldly attachments and spends increasingly more time in spiritual activities. 15th sanskar is sannyasa, renunciation. This sanskar is performed normally at the age of 75 to celebrate the departure from the Vanaprastha ashram and entrance into the sannyasa ashram, the fourth stage, fourth or the last stage of life. In this final stage, the person completely renounces worldly attachments and performs spiritual activities only. And the 16th sanskar is antyeshti, cremation. This is the final Hindu sanskar that is performed after the death of the person. And it is done by his or her descendants. In this sanskar, the material elements of the physical body return to nature and the soul, the Atma, is liberated from the present birth. And it goes according to the karmas, according to the quality of that subtle body, the suksham sharir. Wherever the mind takes it, the soul, individualized soul, will go there. There's some ashes left after the cremation. In India, the ashes are scattered in the holy river. It could be the Ganga or other rivers, symbolizing return of the material elements of the body to nature. So these are the more prominent 16 sacraments. You can see that in all these sanskars, the yajna is there, the mantras are there, remembering God, thanking God, and always keeping an eye on that ultimate goal of life. It's not only the person for whom the sanskars are being done, it is the other people also. They get a lot of benefit from it. They learn from it. These sanskars, they really give us the answers to a lot of questions. Why are we here? What are we supposed to do? What kind of a life? What is the plan for me? At this stage in life, what am I supposed to do? Very clear answers are given in these sacraments. No doubts about it. And again, these sanskars are not just only for the male body. It's for the females also. Because gender does not make any difference. Whether we are in a female body or a male body, we all have the same goal. And with the help of the prayers, with the help of the conducive atmosphere, it becomes easier to reach that goal and do our duties properly over here too. So let's end the class here today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnameva Vishishyate Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you very much for joining.